The Richest Man in Babylon. Chapter 1. The Man Who Wanted Gold. Bansir was a carpenter in Babylon. He made strong wooden chariots. One day he sat on a low wall near his house. His tools were on the ground, and a half-finished chariot stood nearby, but he did not work. He looked tired. He looked at his empty house and his old clothes and thought, "I work every day. I work hard, but I have no money. Why am I still poor?" His friend Kabi, a musician, walked by and stopped. He looked at the chariot and said, "Bansir, why are you not working? People are waiting for your chariots." Bansir sighed. "Kabi, I am tired. I worked for many years, but I am still poor. I have no money for good food. I have no money for better clothes. I feel bad inside." Kabi sat next to him. "I understand you," he said. "I play music. People smile. They give me a little money. But I have no gold either. My purse is always empty." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Kabi pointed to the street. Rich men passed by. Their clothes were clean and beautiful. Their servants carried things for them. Far away, big houses stood in the sun. Kabi said, "Look at them. They have everything. We work too. Why do they have gold, but we do not?" Bansir looked at the rich houses. "Maybe they know something we do not know," he said slowly. "Maybe they learned a simple rule." Kabi's eyes became bright. "Do you remember Arkad?" he asked. Bansir nodded. "Yes. Arkad was poor like us." "And now?" Kabi said. "Now he is the richest man in Babylon," Bansir answered. Kabi leaned closer. "Then let us go to him. Let us ask him to help us." Bansir stood up at once. "Yes," he said. "Let us go now. I want to change my life." Together they walked through the streets of Babylon toward Arkad's great house. Chapter 2. The Richest Man in Babylon. Bansir and Kabi came to Arkad's house. It was large and beautiful, with a quiet yard. Many people were near the gate. Some were workers. Some were shopmen. Some were old. Some were young. Everyone wanted to speak with Arkad. Bansir whispered, "So many people want his words." Kabi answered, "Because he knows how to keep gold." After some time Arkad came out. He did not look proud. He looked calm and kind. He greeted the people and listened to them. When Arkad saw Bansir and Kabi, he smiled. "My old friends," he said, "come closer." Bansir spoke first. "Arkad, we work hard. We do not waste our days. But we are still poor. You were poor too. Now you are rich. Tell us, how?" Kabi said, "Yes, Arkad. Teach us. We want to learn." Arkad looked at them and said, "I will tell you. When I was young, my purse was as empty as yours. I worked and I felt angry inside. I said to myself, 'I work, but I have nothing.'" He walked with them into the yard and sat. They sat near him. Arkad continued, "I worked for a moneylender named Algamish. One day I said to him, 'You have much gold. I have little. Tell me the way.'" Bansir asked, "And what did he say?" Arkad smiled. "He said a very simple thing. Save one part of everything you earn. Keep it for yourself. Pay yourself first." Kabi frowned. "One part? How much?" Arkad answered, 1/10. If you earn 10 coins, keep 1 coin. If you earn 20 coins, keep 2. Put it aside and do not touch it." Bansir said, "But I spend all I earn." Arkad nodded. "I also spent all I earned. But I tried this rule. At first it was hard. But soon I saw something new. My saved coins made me feel stronger. I was not only a worker. I was a man who started to own something. Kabi asked, and then you became rich? Arkad raised his hand. Not so fast. First I made a big mistake. I saved coins and then I gave them to the wrong man. I lost my money. Bansir said, so saving did not help? Arkad shook his head. Saving helped. The mistake was this. I did not ask good people for advice. I listened to a man who did not know. So Algamish said to me, do not cry. Ask advice from people who understand money. Kabi said, then what did you do? Arkad answered, I saved again. I kept 1/10. I lived on the rest. I asked wise people before I put my money anywhere. Little by little, my gold grew. Bansir looked surprised. Little by little? Arkad smiled again. Yes. Gold grows like a tree. First it is a seed. Then it becomes bigger. And later it can give fruit. Kabi said, Arkad, we want to learn the same way. Arkad looked at the crowd near his gate. Not only you, he said. Many people ask me the same thing. So let us do this. Tomorrow you and your friends can come to the Temple of Learning. I will teach everyone simple rules. Bansir's face became brighter. We will come, he said. Kabi said, and we will bring others. Arkad nodded. Good. The city becomes stronger when men learn to use their money well. Chapter 3. The 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. The next day many people came to the temple. The hall was full. Men sat close to each other. Some held small purses in their hands, as if they were afraid to lose even 1 coin. Arkad stood in front of them and said, Friends, you have empty purses because you do not follow simple rules. A weak purse can become strong. But first you must change your habits. A man shouted, We work hard. We still have no gold. Arkad answered, Working hard is good. But a man can work hard and still stay poor if he has no plan. He looked at them and spoke slowly, so all could understand. First cure, Arkad said. Keep 1/10 of what you earn. Put it aside. Do not touch it. This is your money. This is your future. One man asked, But I have a family. I cannot. Arkad replied, If you cannot save 1/10, then you spend too much. Which brings the second cure. Second cure, he said. Control your spending. Many people buy things they do not need. They think, I must have it. But later they suffer. Bansir remembered his own house and old clothes. He thought, I do not buy much. Then he remembered small coins he spent on little useless things. He stayed quiet. Third cure, Arkad continued. Make your saved money grow. Do not hide it in a jar forever. Let it work for you. Put it where it can bring more coins. A man said, Where? I am afraid to lose it. Arkad nodded. Yes. Many men lose money because they listen to sweet words. So here is the fourth cure. Fourth cure, he said. Protect your savings from loss. Ask advice from wise men. Do not put your money into things you do not understand. Kabi whispered to Bansir, This is his mistake from before. Bansir nodded. Fifth cure, Arkad said. Own your home. A home gives you peace. It can make life cheaper. A man who feels safe at home makes better choices. Sixth cure, he continued. Prepare for old age. Time goes fast. One day your hands will be tired. You must have something for that day. Men in the hall became quiet. Many looked at their hands. Seventh cure, Arkad finished. Increase your ability to earn. Learn more. Become better at your work. A man who grows in skill can earn more. A young man asked, So we must do all 7? Arkad answered, yes. Step by step. Not in one day. But start today. Even a small start is a start. The people looked at each other. Many felt hope. They were not thinking about magic. They were thinking about simple steps they could really do. Chapter 4. Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. Some days later, Arkad called the people again. He said, many men talk about luck. They say, I have no luck. But what is luck? Luck is not a bird that sits only on one man's head. Luck comes to the man who is ready. A man said, but I never get a good chance. Arkad asked, when a good chance comes, do you see it? And when you see it, do you act? The man did not answer. Arkad told them a story. A man waits, Arkad said, and says, one day I will start. But he waits too long. Another man learns, saves, and watches. When he sees a good chance, he acts. People say, he is lucky. But he is lucky because he was ready. Kabi asked, so luck is not only chance? Arkad smiled. No. Luck loves a man who works and thinks. If you sit and do nothing, luck passes by. If you learn and act, luck can find you. The people left the temple with a new thought. Not, I have no luck, but, I must be ready. Chapter 5. The 5 Laws of Gold. Arkad spoke again to the people. Gold has laws, he said. Like the river has a way, gold also has a way. He raised one finger. First law. Gold comes easily to the man who saves 1/10 of what he earns. He raised a second finger. Second law. Gold works for the man who puts it to work with care. A man asked, what is, with care? Arkad answered, not with blind hope. Not with soft promises. With thought. With help from wise people. He raised a third finger. Third law. Gold stays with the man who protects it. He asks advice from men who know. He does not jump into dark water. He raised a fourth finger. Fourth law. Gold runs away from the man who puts it into things he does not understand. Bansir remembered stories of men who lost money to strange plans. He felt a little fear, but he also understood. Arkad raised his fifth finger. Fifth law. Gold runs away from the man who tries to get rich too fast. Easy promises are usually traps. A man said, so the laws are simple. Arkad nodded. Yes. Simple to say. Not always easy to do. But the man who follows them becomes stronger each year. Chapter 6. The Gold Lender of Babylon. Rodin, a maker of spears, received 50 pieces of gold as a reward. He held the gold and smiled. But later that day he felt worry. He said to himself, this is a lot of gold for me. If I lose it, I will hate myself. If I use it in a wrong way, it will disappear. His sister came to him and said, Rodin, you have gold. My husband has a plan. Give him the gold. He will make more and later he will give it back. Rodin asked, has he done good business before? His sister looked away. Not really, she said. But this time it will be different. Rodin did not feel calm. He decided to ask a wise man. He went to Mathan, a famous gold lender. Mathan listened and said, many people want gold. Few people know how to use it well. Rodin said, my sister wants me to give gold to her husband. Mathan asked, does he know his work? Does he have skill? Does he have a clear plan? Rodin answered, he often fails. He starts things and then stops. Mathan said, then your gold is not safe with him. A lender must think first, can this man return the gold? If not, lending is not help. It is danger. Rawdon said quietly, "But I want to help my sister." Maffin nodded. "Then give a gift you can lose. But do not call it a loan. A gift can keep peace. A bad loan can break a family." Rawdon felt relief, like a stone fell from his chest. "Thank you," he said. "Now I understand. My gold must be protected." He left with his gold still in his purse, and with a wiser mind. Chapter 7: The Walls of Babylon. One evening some young men sat near the city gate. They talked about enemies. They spoke in worried voices. One said, "Our city is rich. Enemies will come." Another said, "If they come, we can lose everything." An old soldier heard them. He came closer and said, "Why are you afraid?" The young men answered, "Because we heard war can come." The soldier looked at the great walls of Babylon. "These walls are not weak," he said. "I stood on them many nights. They are strong because the city built them with skill. Men guard them with care." He sat with the young men and continued, "A man needs walls too. Not stone walls, but his own protection. A man must protect his home, his money, and his future." A young man asked, "How?" The soldier answered, "With the same things that make the city safe: good work, discipline, and careful habits. A man who saves, who learns, who does not take foolish risks, he builds his walls." The young men became calmer. They understood, safety does not come from dreams. It comes from steady action. Chapter 8: The Camel Trader of Babylon. Dabasur was known as a camel trader. But long before that, he was a poor man with a weak heart. When he was young, he spent money fast. When he had no money, he borrowed. Soon he owed many people. One day he ran away from Babylon because he was afraid. He joined thieves in the desert. For a short time he felt free. But then soldiers caught the thieves. Dabasur was sold as a slave. As a slave he worked under the hot sun. His back hurt. His heart felt dark. In the house where he worked, there was a wise woman named Sirah. She watched him and said, "Why do you look like a man with no hope?" Dabasur said, "Because I am a slave." Sirah answered, "A man who cannot rule himself will always be a slave, even in a big house, even in fine clothes." Her words went deep into him. That night he could not sleep. He thought, "I was a slave before slavery. I was a slave of my wishes." Later Dabasur found a way to escape. He returned to Babylon with nothing but his hands and his will. He went to the men he owed and said, "I will pay you. I cannot pay fast, but I will pay step by step." Some laughed. Some got angry. But Dabasur did not run again. He worked hard. He lived simply. He paid a part every week. Slowly his debts became smaller. Slowly his heart became stronger. Chapter 9: The Clay Tablets from Babylon. Years later workers found clay tablets. On them were Dabasur's words. He wrote about his plan. He wrote, "I divide what I earn into parts. One part is for living. One part is for paying my debts. One part is for saving." He also wrote, "I pay something every week. Even if it is small. I do not stop. I do not hide. I face my debts." One tablet said, "Today I wanted to buy a new thing. But I asked myself, do I need it? I said no. I paid my debt instead." Another tablet said, "A man tried to pull me into a quick plan to get more money. I said no. I will not lose my new life." The last tablet said, "Today I paid my last debt. I walked through Babylon with my head high. I am free." The people who read the tablets understood a strong lesson. Order and discipline can break chains. Chapter 10. The Luckiest Man in Babylon. Sharonada was a respected merchant. He traveled with a young man named Hayden Gula. Hayden wore fine clothes and spoke with pride. He said, "My family is rich. I will always be rich." Sharonada looked at him and said, "Do you know where your family money began?" Hayden answered, "From my grandfather. He was great." Sharonada nodded. Yes, he became great. But he did not start great. As they traveled, Sharonada told him a story. "Your grandfather, Aradgula, was once a slave," he said. "So was I." Hayden stopped. "A slave?" he asked. "That cannot be." Sharonada said, "It is true. We worked. We learned. We became useful. We chose discipline. We did not waste chances. Step by step we became free men, and later we became merchants." Hayden was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "So wealth is not only a name." Sharonada smiled. "No. A name is a sound. A man's habits and choices make his life." People said Sharonada was lucky. But he knew the truth. His luck was many small right steps. Chapter 11. The Historical Sketch of Babylon. Babylon was a great city in a dry land. The sun was hot. Rain did not come often. But the people were wise. They made canals and brought water to their fields. The land became rich. The walls of Babylon were strong. They protected the city for a long time. Inside the walls, trade was busy. Merchants brought goods from many lands. People bought and sold. Temples stood tall. Priests and writers used clay tablets to keep knowledge. Babylon became rich not because of magic luck, but because people worked with skill and followed rules. They learned to save. They learned to protect their gold. They learned to make it grow. Now Babylon is in ruins. But its lessons still live. The stories remind us, simple rules, discipline, and steady work can change a poor man's life. Summary. We have just listened to a famous book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Now let's remember the rules again. The rules are very simple, but they can help you change your life. The book tells stories about two friends, Bansir and Kabi. They work hard, but they are poor. They ask Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, "How did you get rich?" Arkad says, "First, you must change your habits. Rule 1. Save one part of your money. Save 1 coin from every 10 coins you get. This money is for your future. Rule 2. Do not spend all your money. Buy only what you really need. Rule 3. Make your saved money grow. Do not keep it at home forever. Put it in a safe place where it can bring you more money. Rule 4. Be careful. Ask help from people who know about money. Do not listen to people who only say, "Give me money, and you will get more fast." Rule 5. Do not give money to a person who cannot bring it back. If you want to help, give a small gift, not a big loan. Rule 6. Make your life safe. Be ready for hard days. Think about old age. Rule 7. Learn more and become better at your work. When you are better, you can get more money. The book also says, luck is not magic. Luck comes to the person who is ready. When you see a good chance, act. The main idea is simple. Small good steps every week can change your life. Save a part, spend less, learn more, and be steady. If you enjoyed this story and you learn English, please subscribe to this channel. Here we listen to easy English books and short stories, learn new words, and grow step by step. Subscribe now and stay with us. A new story is coming soon.